Hey everyone, my name is Hug. Most people online know me as Huggy Takeoff. That's not important, right? I don't know who needs to hear this, man or woman, whoever you are, but I just want to talk for a minute. I'm not here acting like I'm perfect or pretending that everything is always completely okay. And I'm not gonna act like I have life completely figured out. I'm only 18 years old, and saying that would be completely unrealistic for a lot of us. Some people maybe, but even at that, even if someone has everything they could wish for at 18, there is still always something missing. I've messed up a lot of things, and I've learned them the hard way. So I wanted to come here and talk to you guys about some things I've noticed about myself and other people. If you're watching this, you clicked it for a reason. You're obviously interested in what I have to say in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you're going through something that you can't say out loud. And you know what? That's completely fair. A lot of people go through stuff and they just can't bring themselves to say it, and that's okay. I kind of wanted to do something different. Instead of playing games all the time, I kind of wanted to come on here and talk about the real stuff. See if while playing games, I can also help people do other things, mentally changing as a person, just overall growing while playing games, and enjoying and having fun, right? The point is to have fun with you guys. Something serious I want to talk about is addictions. Addictions are very bad. I don't know what other word to use. Just addictions are something that can consume you fully, and it can be an addiction to the smallest thing. It doesn't have to be an addiction to something like drugs, or addictions can be quite literally anything. And addictions are more like something that you keep going to, something that keeps pulling you in over and over and over again, even when you know deep down it's hurting you more than it's benefiting you. Just a small list of things that you could be addicted to. Stuff like scrolling, validation, lust, drugs. Even drugs and alcohol. I know I said, that isn't the only type of addiction, but those are big addictions people have. And I'm not perfect. I'm not sitting here pretending like I didn't have any, or I didn't have something that I found that was wrong with me, or I felt was wrong and needed to change because it was hurting me more than it was benefiting me. Me personally, I had two addictions. The first one was my phone. I had a constant addiction to my phone, constantly scrolling, even when I knew I had to get stuff done. It kept me up at night. I wouldn't even be watching anything that I would remember in the morning. I would know I have to go to bed. I would keep telling myself go to bed, but I'd just keep swiping my finger away over and over and over again, getting that hit of dopamine every single scroll. And a lot of people do it nowadays, and it's just becoming normalized. Doom scrolling is what people call it, and it's quite literally what it sounds like. You're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, not even to watch a video or look at anything. You're just scrolling. Most of the videos you watch while doom scrolling, you won't even remember in an hour. Something I've worked on. It took me deleting the apps to stop that, and I still catch myself wanting to scroll because I was so like, I just need to watch something. That's why I just started posting videos instead of scrolling, because posting videos honestly allowed me to scroll, but instead of scrolling mindless content, I'm scrolling my own content, seeing what I can improve and what I can make better, quality wise, audio wise, maybe even a script. Most of the time I try to freeball it, but that's not important. My second and most honest addiction I want to talk about is an addiction I had to a girl, and we'll call her Girl K. Girl K was like a drug, kind of like a virus, and it wasn't because she was truly meant for me or something like that. This isn't a story about how I lost a girl, but I kept telling myself I was owed something, and I kept falsifying an image of her and creating something that wasn't real. And I somehow managed to convince myself that nothing in this world would be for me than her, which was one of the biggest mistakes I ever could have made in my life. And yes, I won't sit here and pretend like it was the most awful thing in the world. There were good things, and the thing about those good things were there was no real weight behind them. And I want you guys to realize a lot of relationships or a lot of interactions, friendships, anything, there's always going to be good times, and good times are always going to feel good. But if there's no weight behind them, if you don't grow as a person, if you don't get something and it genuinely helps you, let's just get back to the point. And I feel like the real big boss behind all of that was more of lust. I feel like lust is its own huge demon in itself. Lust made me ruin a chance with a girl, would have and was actively changing my life, and I didn't even know it yet. At the time I had thought it was just annoying, and I thought I was so much better off without what was happening because of the fact that I was so consumed by lust. I believe in God, and I prayed every day for a woman who would change me for the better, change me into the person I want to become, help me become the person I want to become. And I got that. I 100% got that. God handed that to me right on a plate. Here you go, sir. And I didn't value her like I should have at all. I had genuinely convinced myself that what God had given me was worse than Girl K. My friend actually told me that I was probably going to regret this in some way, shape, or form. And, he said, do what you think is best for you. And, I wish I had listened to him when he told me I should make it work. I wish I would have done what he said and made it work. The last thing I want to talk about is something I've always wanted to talk about with a bunch of people. Everybody I interact with, I don't encourage it. I try to get them to quit and, really become the peak version of themselves. Smoking, whether that be weed, nicotine, or anything of the sort. I mean, it's just like, bro, what are you even doing? I'm confused. You sit here and pretend smoking is okay. For a lot of people, maybe it does help you, but you just smoke and smoke just to escape the truth of your situation instead of, I mean, it's going to be hard. A lot of things in life are hard, but instead of just embracing your situation and growing as a person, you smoke and smoke and smoke, hoping something will change. You would go broke before you stop smoking. You would spend your last bit of money just to feel the high of smoking. When you become so addicted to something like weed, you don't even function at your peak self. You're lowering yourself. And you know, something I realized, especially since I graduated high school, I just graduated high school, and especially since I just graduated high school, a lot of the people who I thought would never become people who just smoke every single day, and you know, they go to work, come home, smoke, eat, go to sleep, work, smoke, eat, sleep, smoke, work, eat, sleep. They haven't done anything. They haven't tried to change their lives, they stopped doing the things that they used to do and just have become lower versions of themselves. And who am I to judge? Okay, who am I to judge? I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but why would you lessen yourself when you know you could be so much better? I've heard so many people say, oh yeah, you know, I need to quit smoking. It really just does things to me, and this, and this. And then next thing you know, they're just right back to smoking because it's easier than accepting what you need to do and getting it done. And people always want easier. And that's an aspect of everything. And if you want an easy solution for anything, this video isn't for you. A lot of the people from my old school have just become bums. They're not even trying to grow anything for themselves in the future. If you have millions of dollars and you're already doing your thing, you already got your life settled, and you choose to smoke because you're like, okay, why not? But you know, of course, I'm saying this is most people, this is not everybody. Let's move on to solutions. Becoming brutally honest with yourself. I became brutally honest with myself, and that genuinely meant I had to look in the mirror and acknowledge who I was becoming and who I wasn't. And that's a hard thing to do. I needed to stop lying to myself. And making excuses was easier than actually doing what I needed to do. Number 2, you have to fill the empty spaces. One thing I've noticed is you cannot quit something and fill it with empty space. And what I mean by that is, if you try to quit doing this and you don't fill that space in with something, it's kind of like getting an ice tray. You're taking out ice cubes and you're just putting them back in the freezer. And you end up in a constant cycle of relapsing your addiction. You end up in a constant cycle of quitting, stopping, slipping, just doing stuff over and over and over again because you didn't fill in that space. So what I want to say is, if you're gonna take ice cubes out, put ice cubes back in. 3. You can start now, and a year from now, I promise you, your life will be completely different. And when I say completely different, I don't mean just like, yeah, I stopped watching TikTok, guys. I mean, it'll help you do things that you were like, wait, why wasn't I doing this before? It'll honestly just help you. You may be like, I can do everything by myself, but helping yourself is how you help other people. So the bottom line is, if you start now, you'll thank yourself later on. Number 4, celebrate your wins. Celebrating your wins is very important. People love to pretend the small stuff doesn't matter, but the small things build up. If you're celebrating your small wins, things will feel a lot easier. Telling yourself you won't celebrate anything but the big wins is honestly what kills a lot of people's motivation to even quit something. And it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. If it was easy, no, everybody would do it. There would be no issue. Everybody would do it. Small wins are not pretending like everything is okay, everything is fixed, there's nothing wrong with you anymore. You cannot think like that. Small wins are telling you that you're doing good and you're staying on the right path. You're riding your own path. Small wins tell you that you have control. And 5, something that just honestly helped me a lot, taking some time to sit in silence every day. That sounds scary to a lot of people because when you sit in silence, you genuinely become afraid. And when I say afraid, I mean you become one with your thoughts. No one's disrupting you. There's no noise. You're just there. But silence isn't your enemy. Silence helps. Silence allows you to make connections in your brain. Silence allows you to think. Think of your thoughts and all the craziness going on inside your head as laundry. When you have big piles of laundry and you know you need to fold them, you categorize them by whites, darks, lights, socks, underwear, shorts, pants, shirts, and you organize. Or even if you hang everything up, you organize it by color, you organize it by shirts, you organize it by something. There's always some sort of organization, and this doesn't have to be your example that you use in your head, but when you're sitting in silence, you need something. Your mind works the same way as a lot of things that you would never expect. Say you want to keep your room clean, you would spend 10 minutes a day just cleaning up a little bit. If you spent 10 minutes a day cleaning up a little bit, your room would always be clean. And it's the same with your mind. If you spend 30 minutes a day just sitting in silence, things will be more cleaned up instead of feeling like you always have to do something. If you made it this far, something in this video obviously hit you. And that tells me you haven't given up on yourself, and you haven't given up on someone you love. You haven't given up on something. And I'm proud of you for that. You're tired, you want better, and you deserve better. Or you think someone deserves all of that. And like I said, I give you a lot of respect. And maybe you're like, who's this guy? Like, what the hell is this? You have a lot more of my respect than you realize, because a lot of people will never do the things it takes to change, and they never want to hear what they know they need to hear. Everything I talked about today, the silence, the pain, the addictions, the bettering yourself, just anything, if anything helped you, I'm glad. And you shouldn't feel weak at all. You should feel stronger for wanting to change and wanting help. And if people are making you feel weak for feeling like you need help or feeling like you need to listen to someone, those are not your friends. They do not want the best for you. Those are not real people who care about the best version of you. Like I said, I'm not perfect. You don't have to have your whole life fixed today. You don't have to be a completely new person by tomorrow. You just need to do the small things and make a small change. It may be something that be like, oh, you just threw a blunt away, you didn't really change anything, you're still a smoker. No, if someone's telling you that they don't want the best for you, you actively chose to throw it away. You actively chose to make a change. Don't let anyone degrade what you've done. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. If this video helped you, just remember, you're not lost and you're not missing out on anything. You're honestly just finally waking up.